Okay, so we wanted to talk to you guys. I need to stop saying so. That's also a bad habit of mine. Speaking of bad habits, guys, we just want to talk about the process of heart to heart and like filming ourselves so fucking much.
Oh my gosh.
I truly feel I truly feel that everybody, this is like an exercise that everybody needs to take part in.
Oh
I really believe that everybody should film themselves top to bottom, every conversation, start to end of their day for like 48 hours. Because the amount of things, just the stuff that I'm learning about myself from seeing myself on camera so much and filming myself so much with you is like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, our isms, the way that we tick.
It's like, a little cringeworthy. Like, do you...
And I did it, like, I'm doing it this video, and it's such a habit, but like,
now you're recognizing it.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I have like a twitch, and I fix my bangs. I've been fixing my bangs for years, because I've had bangs forever. Like, I fix my bangs way too much. The other thing that I realize is that I go, yeah, wow, okay, yeah. What is wrong with me? Like, why?
I do that too.
Why do I do that so much? I just fix my bangs again because I'm very picky about the way my bangs look. But yeah, I'm learning so much through this process. Through this process.
Girl.
So much. Can I tell you a little secret? Mm-hmm. I absolutely hated our New Year's video.
Oh my gosh. When you
I hated our New Year's video.
When you told me that you kind of want to just like delete them, I was like, I would not be mad at you if you did. Like, I got to the point, because we did we did part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so tired of looking at this video. I don't even want to.
Gosh.
Like, I actually had her edit the second one because I was like, I can't even like deal with myself right now. Like,
okay, so
you get to the point where you're watching yourself so much and you're seeing all of like the little things that you're like, why do I do that? Like the little ticks.
Yeah.
And it's like, it can be a lot, but.
And you know what I realized? I didn't realize how much my mood can really affect my vibe on camera.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, like, when I was watching it all back, I'm going like, God, I just sound like a know-it-all. I sound like I'm kind of a bitch. Like, when I said that part in the New Year's video where, what was I saying? Oh, when I was... things that we should leave in 2019, and I was talking about people who like pick on people who are organic or vegan.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, you sound stupid.
Oh my God.
And I was like listening to myself, and it's so interesting because the way that I feel that I'm presenting myself to the world or other people during my day-to-day interactions, I didn't realize how like intense I was. I'm extremely passionate when I speak, and I think that puts a lot of people off because they take it as like, ugh, like she's too much, or she's a bitch, or whatever that they think.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it can come off a little like negatively, and I need to realize, whoa, I also realize I'm just I'm an intense speaker. I'm an intense person.
Yeah.
I feel very passionately. I'm an empath. And I don't think a lot of people realize, I mean, not only do I have Italian blood in me, but I'm also from the East Coast. Me and my family are crazy. I'm already fucking wild and crazy naturally. But on top of all of that, it's just like, I am so like empathic, and when I feel, like, I feel all the way. So when I speak, I'm speaking, and I'm
like from your core.
Yeah, like, and a lot of people don't present themselves that way, but that's just who I naturally am. So I realized in that New Year's video, like, because I had that issue with my family earlier, and I was like, oh my gosh, if I act like this, if I'm realizing this about myself just in this one video, what are the other ways, in the other times where I did have something bad happen and I am out in the public, or I am at work, or I am with my friends.
Yeah.
And I showed this kind of energy and this kind of vibe. And even though in my mind, I'm like, I'm just speaking from my heart. Like, I'm speaking facts.
I'm totally covering this up and nobody knows what I'm going through and nobody is like detecting that something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
When really...
Or they just go, damn, you're kind of an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to like, is there something wrong with you? And now I even am figuring this out in the way that other people are to me, you know? Yeah. And it's already something that I've kind of realized in my day-to-day interactions with the world, but it's making me realize, like, if someone's really acting crazy and they're not normally that way, or they're more intense one day than another day, it definitely makes me go, hey friend, like, what's going on? Like, something's messing you up, and I can tell that, like, you're irritated, you're bothered, and then you'd be surprised as to the response that you get from hearing that question.
Right.
But I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea that I was portraying myself in that video in such a way, and I don't completely hate every part, but it definitely wasn't my best. Like, how do you feel about that?
No, I definitely agree with you that, like, you can definitely see when something is, like, it's really hard for us to hide when something's going on, you know? I think it's, like, really, really hard to do that, and we see it because we're watching ourselves, and it's like, when are we ever on the opposite end, like the receiving end of our energy?
Of
like,
ourselves.
Never.
When are we ever on the receiving end of ourselves? And that's why I want people to do this exercise.
Exactly.
Film every conversation, phone call, in person, if you're running errands, like literally attach a GoPro or something, like a hidden camera, and play it back, because you guys will probably be like, holy shit, I had no idea I came off that way, I sounded like that.
Or just like when you're with your friends, like just put up a camera and just film your conversation.
And don't stop it. Don't stop and start.
No.
Like, from the moment they walk in the door to the moment that they leave. Because, like, that's a lot of what I found out about you and I that I was telling you before. Is, like, it wasn't even when we were like, okay, we're live, we're filming, we're recording. It was when we weren't ready to go. It was, like, off camera that I was like, dang, you know? Like, I didn't realize I was like that. So, yeah, it's so beautiful, though, because I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
Just about you, about myself, about my isms as I fix my names, you know? And it's just like, it's really a beautiful process, and I think everybody should do it. But how did you feel about the New Year's video?
I mean, I was slightly disappointed in the sense that I think this is just part of this beginning process, is like, we have these ideas, right? We're like, this is how we want it to go. Yeah. And obviously, we're new. We're two different people with two different ideas. And even if we talk about it in, like, the same, like, what we want to do, we, like, brainstorm about what we want to do. It's, like, seeing how it comes together and then seeing how it's portrayed on camera. It's really different than what is in our minds, I think.
So you're saying, like, how you perceive the what we're doing right here is completely different than when you watch it back.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's like you feel different in the moment than when you're watching it. It's like, wow, that's
really
what that looked like. Like,
and you don't know unless you do this. So
you don't. You will never know, because what's in your head, you can go home and what's in your head is your own perspective. But when you're, like, watching it and you guys are watching it together, like when you and I are sitting and watching something that we're filming, it's like we can kind of look at each other and be like, wow, like, well, I didn't think that's how I was coming off, or that's, you know, or I definitely wanted to say more in that part, but I didn't, you know? And, like, that's my, like, whole thing is, like, I want to make sure that I'm learn how to articulate what I want to say and whatever I'm feeling, letting the viewer, like, understand it in that way, you know, and really trying to, like, be succinct.
Yeah. Look it up, y'all. Look up the definition of succinct.
I think, because, you know, we only have a certain allotted time that we want these videos to run.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a lot of information. We're creating a 30-minute video with, like, 2.5 hours of content.
Yeah.
Footage, yeah, it's, like, hard to kind of be really, really to the point and, like, yeah.
That's something else that is really big for me. I mean, I always knew that I was a very detailed person, but I am, like, overly detailed, and that's something I've been learning from you. I'll go, Carmela, and you'll go, oh, so you mean boop, boop, boop? And I'm like, how in the hell did you just squish everything I said into one tiny little sentence, and I just talked your head off for, like, 20 minutes? you know?
We do that a lot, huh?
But a lot of people who have said to me, like, oh, you're long-winded. It's like, have you heard yourself talk?
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's like people, you just learn so much. Like, even, you don't even think that you're doing things, and then you might judge somebody else.
Right.
And for all you know, like, you do the same thing. You just don't realize it because you're up against someone who's just like you know?
Right.
So that's why, guys, I'm telling y'all, film yourself. Film yourself with your partners, with your family, with your kids, with your friends. It's next level. So,
So another thing that I learned from our New Year's video was, and just the whole editing process, you guys, because there's so much that goes into not only getting together and filming these episodes, but like the whole editing process. It's so much harder than it seems. Like this whole process is really hard, and I think that learning patience is one of the big things. And I've researched a lot of stuff on other YouTubers, like talking about their process and stuff, is that they're really big on like patience and like just being patient and letting the process.
What do you mean being patient? Like with yourself?
Yeah, with ourselves in the process
Throughout the process
of creating a YouTube channel,
right?
You know, and creating something that you want to have like reach and to gain followers, you know. And it's like it's most likely not going to happen overnight, and like
no way,
you know.
Yeah,
but just like
unless you like have connections or you already have a network that you've built.
Yeah,
you know, it's definitely really difficult to do.
Yeah, I'm just like in the past, I've definitely been like the kind of person that can be like impatient in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because we're very like instant gratification kind of humans.
Yeah. Now.
Like, this is what I want it to happen now.
Well, and it's just like a really good reality check too, because it's like we might think that something's really amazing, and you know how every time we film, we always get excited about it because it's like we're doing something and we're actually like putting effort into it and really putting our heart into it. And it's exciting, and like we're really proud of ourselves, you know. Like we like give ourselves props all the time, which is I think is a really good quality. You know, we really believe in us and what we're doing. But it's like on the other end, it's like we'll look at, you know, how many followers we have or like all that stuff, and it can kind of be discouraging sometimes because it's like, well, we think we're doing great things. Like, how come everybody else isn't like catching on right away? You know, I've had those moments. You might not feel that way, but
I'm a little bit more logical about it all.
Yeah, and I just get like, I don't get like upset about it, but I'm like, like I wonder what people are thinking, or like what.
We're also like not posting. You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
We're not really posting yet. Like we're not quite there right now. I think we're still trying to figure out like our schedules.
Yeah.
And how to get how we really feel in or perceive ourselves in our head out on camera as well. So yeah. All right, guys, it's the end of our video, so we want to start some new cute little baby traditions with y'all.
Oh, baby traditions, I like that.
Yeah, little like fun things. So I have 2 questions here.
We're gonna do question cards
that we're both gonna answer. I actually got this off myintent.org. It's called What's Your Word? So if you guys are interested, they're little question cards and they're fun.
Little like conversation starters.
Yeah,
they're always good.
They're great. So I'll ask a question, you ask the question, and we'll both answer.
Okay.
Cool?
Sound good.
What was your childhood dream?
My childhood dream was I wanted to, well, there's a couple, and it all is based around like what I wanted to do when I got older, right? So one was I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Did you? Oh my God, I did too! I did too!
You did?
Yes, I said if I wasn't, you finish and I'll tell you mine. Go for it.
Weird.
That's
okay,
crazy.
So I wanted to be a marine biologist or a veterinarian, but veterinarian turned into marine biologist.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Cute.
And then I also wanted to be like a beautician. That's what it was called back when I was little.
Wait, so like a cosmetologist?
I wanted to go to, so I wanted to like, I always had a dream of like owning my own salon. I always wanted to like own my own thing.
Yeah.
So whatever it was that I wanted to be, I wanted to own my own thing around that. So I wanted to have like my own salon and be like do hair and stuff. It was more based around hair, not makeup. Those are the 2 things.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you. I'm learning about you too, girl.
Yeah.
Okay. My childhood dream was, it started out, I wanted to be on Broadway.
Yeah.
And then I always said if I didn't make it to Broadway, that I would travel to Africa and study animals.
Really?
or I would be a marine biologist.
Okay, so what made you want to do those things? Was there anything, like, obviously I know that you love to dance, and that was, like, a big thing, and I feel like Broadway is major for dancers,
I loved
right?
Broadway. Musical theater, the performing
Have
arts.
you been to a Broadway show? Like, many?
Girl,
That's a stupid question.
My dance competition, our national dance competition, was in New York City at the Waldorf Astoria every year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my whole life. It was like
that was the ultimate goal.
Oh, absolutely. And we would have a gala. It was New York City Dance Alliance, if y'all know. DWDE, Denise Wells Dance Energy reppin', Virginia Beach, Virginia. Top 50 studios in the States. No, I was kidding.
This girl.
Anyways, my spray tan's fucked again, but whatever. Yeah, girl, I've seen so many Broadway musicals. I literally saw
What's your favorite one?
Rent.
Do a scene.
525,600 minutes. 525,000 moments so blue. I'm not gonna really sing it, but
that was good.
And I used to audition. I've auditioned for Broadway musicals, like the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, and then that turned into mainstream, like being a pop artist and stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, and I wanted to. I've always been obsessed with dolphins. And then just all the women in my family, like my mom and my grandma, my mom's mom, I've always had animals, rescued animals, tons of animals. My grandparents had like a little tiny farm.
Yeah.
I always helped my grandpa, feed the pony, feed the donkey, feed the geese or whatever. So I just thought people who moved to Africa and study animals, I always thought it was an amazing life.
Yeah.
What a cool life.
But moved to Africa, like.
That was just, I don't know why, it was just as a kid.
Maybe like safari.
Yeah, as a kid, I don't know where I got that from, but yeah.
Isn't that funny how, like, when we're kids, like, you don't know where you got that from, but you had this huge dream of wanting to move to Africa.
Yeah, specifically Africa.
It's so interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
So cute. Okay, my question is,
yes,
what did you learn from your biggest regret? I'm really interested in this answer.
So let me tell you what my biggest regret is first. My biggest regret is not doing more and trying my hardest in dance. So dance was like my escape growing up. It was like my safe place. I spent my whole life in the dance studio. Literally my whole life.
Yeah.
But my mom, my parents, my mom really, it wasn't like she was like, work harder. She wasn't like a stage mom. It was just kind of like, okay, go to dance. She did her own thing. And I feel like I always had like a fear of what other people thought. I was too concerned with not being this amazing dancer that like I wouldn't try as hard in class. And like my ballet teacher used to tell me, like, you're so good, but like you have such an attitude problem and you don't realize how good you could be. And my gymnastics teacher told me the same thing. She's like, you're so naturally gifted in these areas, but you slack off. So that's my biggest regret. I feel like if I were to really put my all, and I did very well, in the world of dance, and, I'm not a bad dancer, I don't think, but, I know that if I would have tried my hardest and had more discipline in it, I could have gone much farther. So that's one. And two is dropping out of college. I was actually in college. I got a scholarship and everything for Conservatory of the Arts. I was there for 2 years. I auditioned for the Search for the Next Pussycat Doll show, the TV show that I was on. Yeah. And as soon as I got out of the show, I was like, I'm done. And I just feel like, not necessarily I wish I had a degree, because I can always go back to school and get a degree at any age. More, I feel like I missed the opportunity of the, like, experience. And again, because I didn't take it seriously, and I wasn't disciplined, and I wasn't really good at, like, the more difficult classes, like kinesiology, because I'm not good at, like, memorizing all those fucking things, you know? So those are my two biggest regrets. So I would say what I learned from those regrets is just don't waste time. Give it my absolute all. Don't don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't slack. Like, take advantage of what you have now. I've wasted so much time, you know, worrying about my boyfriend and spending too much time with my boyfriends, because I've always been in a relationship, that I didn't really put my all into my dreams. And I know that if I really committed, I could have been much farther than I ever got. So that's mine.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the thing about that too is like you were saying, you felt like you were always afraid of being judged. That like, and so do you think that's the reason why you like wouldn't give it your all, step outside your comfort zone? You'd always stay kind of like
dance. Yes.
Yeah.
Other areas, no. Other areas, it was just I was a distracted ass child.
Oh, right, with like the college and stuff and dropping out.
Right. Right. Having boyfriends
that's, like,
and
so
concerning
normal,
myself
though.
with.
It's like, but do you?
But
really...
there is a lot of people that had the discipline and had the work ethic and took it seriously and went to that next level.
See, I always wonder. This is like a really interesting. I wish I had more time to talk about this, but because I feel like I could talk about this a lot, like in terms of where do you feel like your parents play a role in that? Because I feel like there's some kids, like my boyfriend, for instance, like he like did that whole the normal thing, like go straight from high school to college, go through college, you know, like not get distracted. Like, it's a combination of like maybe like the individual, the kid, the person themselves, and then also how they're like kind of guided, right? And like what's expected, because like my parents did not expect me to go to college. They were not pushing me to go to college. They were like, do what you want, basically. And I just, you know, I moved out of the house at 18 and didn't finish high school and moved off to the East Coast and like wanted to live with my best friend. Like, I feel like if you're not kind of pushed in that direction and kind of like nurtured to do that, it's like so easy for a 18-year-old to get distracted by boyfriends and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, and I think like I'm not really gonna talk about my dad or my stepdad because those relationships were so, you know, dysfunctional. And I'm not saying my mom and I have had the most healthy relationship. There's been a lot of like dysfunction there as well. We're in a much different place now than we once were.
Yeah.
But I do think that a lot of times, you know, I think my mom was just trying to figure out her own shit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she did the best that, you know, I think maybe she could, but she had her own dysfunctional way of living and behavior due to her upbringing. You know, same with my dad. So I do think it's a lot of, you know, sometimes we're just distracted in our own world. And some parents do a really good job at focusing on those things, and some parents don't do such a good job at focusing on those things.
Right.
And even like the college thing, it's not that, like I said, it had nothing to do with really even the educational aspect, more of just the life experience and sticking to something and not giving up. You know what I mean? But then there's another side of it where I do really appreciate the fact that my mom was a little bit more lenient in those areas, because it did give me the freedom to learn how to make my own decisions in life.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah.
But I do wish it was a little tighter.
Same
you know?
here. I feel exactly the same way.
At least there was more of like a, you know, discipline. I feel like there was a little bit in those areas.
Exactly. That's how I feel. I feel like I wish there was, not to say that I didn't want to make my own decisions for myself and I didn't want to go those routes, but like I wish there was a little bit more guidance and like focus on that, if it was to give it more of an option and more of an opportunity to impact me and to impact my decision.
Or say, hey, if you're gonna do something, you're gonna go all the way.
Yes.
You
like,
know?
Hold you accountable.
Work hard,
and say,
hold you accountable, check
I didn't
in.
Get that.
Yeah, you know, but like I said, I think dance for me, it was like, she's safe at dance. She's at dance. I got my own life to worry about. You know what I mean? It wasn't like being a stage mom, you know, like that wasn't her MO. So yeah, so that's my biggest regret. But you know, I think unfortunately that's how the world turns, and we learn as we go.
Yeah, and hopefully you just don't have too many.
So what's your biggest regret? What is it? What did you learn from your biggest
Okay, so what I learned from my biggest regret is that you can waste a lot of time in an unhealthy relationship, and that it's not worth it. It like, I mean,
that's so big.
Yeah, like, and I
that's
think a lot of people.
Big message.
I met my like first real boyfriend and turned ex-husband when I was 20 years old, and I ended up divorcing him when I was, 31 maybe? I spent like 12 years of my life in a very rocky relationship, and I definitely wish I regret not leaving when I felt like it was unhealthy, you know, and when I knew that it wasn't making me happy, and that I was like completely changing the person that I was to be with this person in an unhealthy way. And I mean, the only two, like, I can honestly say the only two good things that came out of it were my two kids. Like, I wasted too much time with that in that relationship, and I should not have. And so I regret that, like, I lost a lot of years of like really, really, really like vital like development time. I think like in our 20s we're learning so much, and we can be exposed to so many opportunities and really great things, and I just don't feel like I allowed myself to have those experiences because I was stuck in this really like toxic relationship, you know, and I stayed there. And it's like, I wish I didn't, and I realized that like so many opportunities and great things can be like lost when you waste time in something that's unhealthy and unhappy.
That's it. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Cute.
Boom.
All right. So another little mini heart-to-heart tradition that we're going to start doing is giving you a word of the day, because we love being educated and we love learning. So we want to learn with you. And here is a big word. Carmela taught it to me, and now I'm using it because it's something that I really need to work on.
What is it?
Being more succinct. So give us the definition.
Succinct.
The word of the day is succinct. SUCCINCT. Give us the definition, girl. A lot of you guys might know this,
but succinct means briefly and clearly expressed. That's it. I mean, it's simple.
Like,
but you know what I think?
Briefly and clearly expressing anything that comes out of my crazy ass brain
challenge
is so difficult.
That's
so I'm learning how to be more succinct.
That brings us to the end.
That brings us to the end of episode 4. Oh my god, we're in episode 4. It's amazing. So if you guys have been watching and following our journey from our intro video to this video, we honestly just want to sincerely say thank you.
Seriously, thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because it's so cool, and like the fact that anybody's even watching is such a blessing, and I'm so honored to have you here. And whether you're watching for good intention or ill intention,
you're watching either way.
You're watching either way, and we just hope that, you know, if you are here for bad reasons, that we're able to switch up your mind and get you to start thinking on a deeper level, even if you don't want to tell people that you're watching. And if you are here for positive and supportive reasons, then guys, you're
or
seriously,
entertainment and information.
You guys are just awesome.
We can be all of that for you.
Always remember, guys, you're not alone. You can always find friendship in us.
And you matter, you guys.
And you're so worthy. So don't forget it. And don't let anybody
bring you down,
bully you. And if they're talking about you, it's for a reason. Whether good or bad, life is a learning experience. And we got to be more open to the fact that we're all learning.
And compassionate to each other.
Yeah. And what do you always say? No one is perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
So if you
it's
judge
not out
it,
there,
you
better
flip it around, baby.
All right, last thing we want to
shout out to our sponsor. Look at us, guys. We got a sponsor. How cute. So Mint Wellness, they are out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and they are a CBD wellness company. These are CBD sleep gels, which I absolutely swear by. You take 2 a night if you really want to get knocked out good. And the thing that I love about Mint Wellness sleep gels is that I woke up and I wasn't groggy or...
That's what I love. Like, that's why I actually need these, because there's sometimes when I just need to go to sleep and I need my mind to shut off and I just want to get a good night rest of sleep.
Yeah.
And not feel groggy in the morning. That's a big thing. You don't have those side effects.
And the first time I took these, I literally set 15 alarms because I was like, I'm not going to wake up. Like, I probably won't wake up. And I totally did. And it was just the normal when you wake up sleepiness. So shout out to Mint Wellness. You can follow them, ineedmint.com. Thank you guys so much. If you're interested in more products, we are so happy to share more of the products with you. And we might be doing a giveaway soon, so stay tuned.
Peace, guys.
Love you.